The original idea and the basis for this platform was designed to go to the moon to do mining. The robots don't call in sick. They don't take a lunch. They're not going to go to their car to call their girlfriend. We could bring on another robot and they'll learn, the other robots will teach them their routes. We think of it almost like a dog.
Hey, so Andy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Team First?
Hey, Courtney, thanks for the opportunity. Andy Sanchez, I've been in the safety and security industry for over 20 years. A lot of time spent in K through 12 education, trying to make sure that our campuses were safe and secure, dealing with mass notification. And as mass notification really started to take on the message, take on and catch on in schools, the message we were trying to get out as integrators and as an industry is help those schools by 30 seconds into a response time. And Team First approached me with the idea of robotics and security robotics out on the perimeter for large campuses. And I saw an immediate fit for not only K through 12 education, but being able to change that response time to lock down a campus with mass notification from 30 seconds, 45 seconds to minutes. Being able to give eyes, ears, and a mouth on a robot out in the field remotely, taking humans away and being able to respond, interact, and interdict quickly and efficiently with a robot while adding efficiency and increasing security.
All right, we're talking about robots here. So am I thinking 2032 Terminator? Or, I mean, talk to me about these robots.
So yeah, that's great. It's a lot of people when they talk about robotics and AI, they have that fear of Terminator and that 2032. I think of our robots a little bit more like Johnny Five from the 1980s movie, but that they're a platform based almost on an ATV. They can go through different types of terrain from snow, mud, dirt, and drive around and be able to go to some of those places where humans may not be able to go or want to spend a lot of their time, but they're there with their cameras and the two-way communication on it. The loudspeaker has 120 dB microphone or horn on it, so it's definitely going to get your attention. But they're meant to be present, obvious, and conspicuous to be able to deter crime or nefarious behavior in the facility.
Hey, sorry for interrupting the video, but I wanted to mention something to you that you might not know. If you've been following our videos for a while, then you know the Officer Reports brand, but you may not know exactly what it is that we do, other than bringing you great video content. To keep the explanation short, Officer Reports is a security guard management software platform that helps you manage your security guard company operations. So if you want to ensure that your officers are providing real-time and well-written reports to your clients, check out our electronic reporting software. If you want to make sure that your officers are active while on duty and would like to be alerted if they're not, check out our tour tracking and our active security officer tracking software. Or if you're looking for a platform that can automatically schedule your officers, allow them to clock in, and alert you if they're late, check out our time and attendance module. And if you wrap all that up in a great big ball of customer service and reasonable pricing, that's OfficerReports.com. To find out more, please give us a call at 888-511-9811 or go to our website, OfficerReports.com. But in the meantime, let's get back to it. All right, so you mentioned humans. Is the idea that the robots replace the human security officers? I mean, what's your vision there?
Definitely not. We like to use the term cobotics, and that's a term that the auto industry really coined, and Detroit automakers have been using for decades already, to where humans and robots work together to be able to build a product. And that's the idea that we see with the robots, is that we're taking humans out of harm's way because we have situations where um, people come onto a campus with, unfortunately, guns, bats, pipes, and they want to do bad things. So if we can put a robot there that can be replaced, that's a much better value proposition than putting a human there who can get hurt or worse than that. And so that's the idea, is that we want to be able to take your good guards, bring them back, be able to them to watch over the robots, see how they're performing or if they need to have that human interaction, and then allow them to do that, but allow the robot to be the first line of defense.
Got it. So you start talking about how the security officers interact with the robots. So typically, is there a security officer on site partnered, I guess, up with the robots, and that's kind of how that works?
It can be a couple of different ways. On larger facilities that have a video management system and camera systems where there's a security guard watching, the robot and the cameras on the robot are OnVIF capable. So that can be brought into any VMS. And as the officer is watching on in their SOC, they can have those feeds and alerts coming from the robot along with the other video cameras that they're watching. So they can get a full view of the campus as the robot's out and patrolling. The robot is fully autonomous, so it needs very little human interaction. The only time that it's going to escalate is if, as the robot's on patrol, that there is a person coming on with a weapon, and the robot may not be able to defuse that situation. That's when the guard may have to run out and react, and those alerts happen. But as the robot's patrolling, we take the campuses, the facilities security plan, and we download that to the robots. So the robots know what to do. So let's say that we have a closed campus from 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. If the robot encounters a person at two in the morning and they're approaching it, the robot can play an automatic message saying, thank you for coming to the Team First campus. This is a closed campus. Our regular hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. If the person or the anomaly continues to come in, then we can escalate that message to your image has been captured and reported to security and local law enforcement. Please leave the campus. The security is on their way. That next level of escalation could be a two-way communication, and that can be done completely remotely off-site through a web interface, or it can be done through the local GSOC, to where I see you approaching me. You're in an orange shirt, khaki pants, and black shoes. You need to leave. Your image has been captured and reported, and security is on their way.
Okay, so you mentioned anomaly, right? So anomaly is something out of the ordinary. So are you telling me that the robots are learning as they're patrolling?
Yeah, it's one of the things that I find most interesting about this job is the robots. When we first go out and we set them up, we preset their routes and designate their routes so that they know the full campus and how to get around every piece of that campus. But as the robots learn their routes, learn their facility, learn those anomalies or things that aren't common to them, the robots gain confidence and start making decisions based on what they know. So if the robots know that at 7:45 people start coming in through a certain door, at the robots may sit back and just observe and record people coming in or be at their charging station in sentry mode and watching those people come in. And then that traffic stops at 8:15, the robots will continue on their path. The other thing to keep in mind is what makes our robots unique is that they work in teams. So the robots can communicate with each other on patrol. And if there's something blocking their routes, or if there's an anomaly that they're not familiar with, they can swarm together and try to figure out what that anomaly is. Or they will tell the robots behind them that there's something in the way and a new route needs to be taken, and they'll proceed to that new route. And then once it's cleared, that message will be sent back and they'll continue to their regular route.
But let's take it back to the very beginning. Where did the idea from these robots come from? I mean, this is crazy.
It is. And so Team First is a 10-year-old audiovisual company out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and got very good at the AV and security side and wanted to grow. We were approached by SMP Robotics, who is the manufacturer of the robots and has a worldwide footprint with over 300 robots deployed across the world in different environments and different countries. And they said, we can't get into America. Help us. You guys know security. Help us find a model to break into America and really get these robots out there. What's interesting about SMP is that the original idea and the basis for this platform was designed to go to the moon to do mining. When they didn't win that bid, they thought, what else can these robots do? Well, security, perimeter patrolling made the most sense. And so that's why we have a lot of not only the platform that it is with the larger ATV wheels, the ability to be able to go through different terrains because we don't know what we may find on the moon. But we made some of those, they made some of those decisions based on off-planetary mining. And so when we're doing it on Earth, we have a little bit easier time. And then those communications, the communication is all established, and we can do some different things because we're closer than the moon.
Well, this idea is just out of this world. Oh my God, I didn't say that. All right, strike. So let me ask this. So as I start to think about, right, your competition, I am imagining your usual static cameras that are fixed, or if you go to a Home Depot, there's a camera in the parking lot. But those seem kind of weak or minor or something compared to what it is that you're doing. I mean, do you consider those guys your competition? And if not, I mean, who's your real competition?
We really don't have any competition with that. So static cameras and the trailers that you see in those parking lots are great solutions, and they're part of a full security package. So the idea with our robots is that we're agnostic and open enough to be able to receive software triggers or API inputs from different systems, allowing us to be able to take direction from a camera system that may see an anomaly on the south side of the building while the robot is on the north side, and say, hey, robot, deter off of your path and see what this is. And so with software triggers and APIs, we can do that. And when you think of cameras surrounding your building, looking down maybe 10, 20 feet into the parking garage, they'll have an aerial view. But then the advantage that you have is a roving patrolling robot being able to see at eye level or vehicle level to be able to make those decisions. Because the cameras in the air or the trailer, well, they can spot things at a high level. We'll be able to see things under cars. And as we're patrolling, maybe there's a box under a vehicle, or even a person laying down with and the robot can do a response to person down and require a trigger. But we can do different things being at the height and roving that the stationary cameras and the trailers just can't.
Got it. Got it. I mean, this is all really amazing. So let's talk about how you guys work with, our viewers, our customers, security guard companies. What does that relationship look like? Do you have one?
So right now, Team First is in the process of getting the idea out into the public, making sure that they know what the robots can do. And so with security guard companies, it's a great fit because a lot of times we can add value not only to that end user, but to the security company by placing robots. So we can place those robots in addition to a guard. So we can have one robot and one guard on patrol and working the same way you would two or three guards. The idea is that the robots don't call in sick, they don't take a lunch, they're not going to go to their car to call their girlfriend, or anything else that we may think of that our human security guards may do. The other benefit that they have is that at MSRP, the robots are operating for $13.80 an hour. And so that's 24/7 security. And so security guard companies can take cost savings off of that and pass that along to their customers while offering them true continuous 24/7 monitoring off of the guard, and then still have that human element as well. Some of the security companies that we've worked with have said, well, we don't run 24/7 security. We have maybe we run for 16 hours a day. So that's great. But for those other 8 hours, do you have a need for the robot to be in sentry mode? Maybe charge a lesser fee for that robot when it's sitting in sentry mode than on patrol, but you're still able to capture people coming in or any type of anomalies, and the robot can play pre-recorded messages while it's charging and in sentry mode, or be able to leave. If there's an emergency, the robot can get off of its charging station and go respond in real time to that anomaly. So there's definitely a benefit to having that 24/7 robot security officer in place.
Okay, so I can understand the operational benefits. Are there financial benefits for security guard companies?
Of course. So with the robot, Team First handles all of the white gloves. We call it white glove service, and that's 24/7 health and status monitoring of the robots, so that we know if anything's going wrong or the robot's not performing to 100% of its capabilities, and we can intervene if we have to. The nice thing about these robots and the platform that they're built on is they fix most of their problems autonomously from their knowledge base. So if there's something not firing right on one of the computers, it'll go through and try to fix that. And then if not, Team First will be on site within 48 hours to touch and work on that robot or provide a replacement.
That's incredible.
And then on top of that, we have 24/7 security. We have a guard that's operating all the time that's not going to call in. So we don't have any taxes associated with it, was payroll taxes, healthcare benefits, or any of the typical things that we're going to do in bringing on a new employee, training, or what happens if they leave after 3 weeks and I spent 2 weeks training them. We don't have that with the robots. We can bring on another robot and they'll learn, the other robots will teach them their routes and the facility safety plan. So they can work very autonomously. And that's the idea, is that the robots are meant to be an autonomous extension of your security guard force.
All right, so totally get that. But the question becomes, do the security guard companies have to employ robotic engineers to get the robots in front of their clients? I mean, what's that relationship like?
Definitely not. So the security guard companies will rely on Team First for our white glove service. And that means that Team First is responsible for the health and status. We have our expert robot engineers that are the best in the world. And so we provide health and status updates on the robots, but we also make sure that they're fully functional at 100%. The robots can fix most of their problems autonomously by themselves from their knowledge base and what they've learned and what they know. If we need to intervene, we can try to fix remotely any issue, or if we have to be on site, Team First will be on site to either fix whatever issues with the robot on premises, or provide a replacement robot within 48 hours.
So, do you guys help with the sales process when the security guards companies are pitching this?
Yeah, definitely. We want to be part of that process because we want to be able to differentiate what added benefit the robots have in addition to the human security guards. So if we need to be on a call, we have videos, live views into where our robots are located with some of our trusted partners, and we can show that and give feedback and allow customers to talk to different facilities that are using the robots and see those advantages.
And talking to our customers, a lot are selling their own products, right? In terms of security guard service, they are experts. But when it comes down to electronics, computers, robots, video monitoring, not as skilled. So having you guys to kind of back them up helps a lot. But you talked about what type of facilities that the robots are at. What type of facilities are those? I mean, is it just at mines, or I mean, where are you guys placing the robots?
Anywhere where there's a large area to cover, these robots are ideal for that. Some of the places where we are data centers. So data centers, crypto mining facilities. We have bioscience and biomedical facilities. And at the end of May, we're going to be placing a robot at a high school in Santa Fe, New Mexico to do some patrols. And that's going to be a great use case for how the robot's going to interact with high school kids on a daily basis.
So, speaking of high school students, do you guys have problems with people vandalizing the robots, tipping them over? I mean, what's that look like?
What we found is that while people are very interested in what the robots do and they want to come up, try to take selfies, they're hesitant to touch them. And that's been Albuquerque, New Mexico is known, unfortunately, for its crime and some of the things that get stolen around here. Heck, at the 2022 Balloon Fiesta, we had one of the stars of the show is the bees. They stole the bee from its hotel parking lot. So we have our robots patrolling around, not only our facility, but some different ones in the Albuquerque area. And we get a lot of people coming up, taking pictures of it, taking pictures with it, but they haven't tried to take the robot, steal the robot, or harm the robot. And I think that for now, the nice advantage that we have is there's still a little uncertainty with the robots and what they can do. If there's going to be some type of laser that pops out from underneath it, and I think that that adds to that hesitancy from really being in front of that robot. The other thing is that the cameras on the robot allow vehicle detection at about 800 meters. So we're going to see vehicles coming at the robot or coming at our facility from a far distance away and be able to capture analytical data, license plates. And then at 200 meters, we start to do person, object, and animal recognition. So we'll be able to pick up clearly a face at 200 meters and then go back into whatever VMS or third-party AI software you're using for facial recognition or black whitelisting and be able to provide you instant feedback. And what's really interesting about that and adds a lot of value is that when we're doing that from a far distance at the outskirts of your facility, we're able to capture even more information and give that facility and that security team that much more time to react and act on behalf.
When we're talking about reacting from what the robot is saying, does there have to be, a security operations center on site? I mean, what does that require?
Definitely not. So the robot, since it's fully autonomous, can operate by itself. In fact, we've had a robot running in Montana at a mine, like you talked about, for the last 2.5 years, and it has had no human interaction. So it's just been doing its duties over and over again. And we haven't had to be on site to work on it or fix anything with it. And Montana has some really extreme temperatures. They have the cold and the snow, and the robot's been able to operate under those circumstances for 2.5 years. So all of those reports come back to either email, text messages through phones, SMS alerts, or just alerts on the phone that we can get. And then video can come back. And a lot of this is just done through a web interface. So you can be fully remote and observing the robot and the 7 cameras that are on it from anywhere in the world, really, and still be able to have the control of the PTZ camera and also be able to have that two-way interdiction. So if we have to have a two-way conversation, I can do that from my web app.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So this would really work with any third party video monitoring service.
Definitely. And that's what it's designed to do. The robot is meant to just be that outdoor, we think of it almost like a dog, a patrolling dog out there that can actually speak and have your eyes and ears out in the field and be able to be that first level of defense and then be able to work with any system from Motorola, Vigilon, Genetec, Milestone, Eagle Eye. We have a lot of integrations, or we have the integrations into OnVIF for those VMSs, and that control can just sit in a SOC a global SOC or just a local SOC, however the client decides to operate.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So is there a cost to security guard companies to become partners with you guys? What does that look like?
No, there's definitely not a cost. We don't even require any initial buy-in. We have different levels of channel partners, and that depends on the volume you think you can do or the volume that you intend to do with the robots. And then those margins are built in. So this is a very lucrative business model with recurring revenue to add revenue streams into your security guard company, while also adding value to your customers and giving you and your company the opportunity to work with cutting edge technology.
So you start talking about recurring revenue. Everybody who's listening wants to talk to you now. So how do people go about finding you, contacting you?
So you can reach out to Officer Reports and talk to their team, and they can get a hold of us. Or you can go to teamfirsttechnologies.com, and that's team1st tech.com, and you can find information on our website. Make sure you let us know that you heard on the Officer Reports feed, that's where you learned about us, and that'll be great. But yeah, there's the thing right now is trying to figure out how to bring in thousands of dollars in recurring revenue to companies, and that's the model that we've built, and that's a model that we've started to get a lot of success with. And I think that your customers would find a lot of value with it.
Andy, this has been extremely interesting. I love the idea of a robot. I think I'm going to shut Officer Reports, start a security company so I can just do robots. I love this. So with that being said, thanks again for coming out and kind of sharing with the audience about Team First. And we look forward to continuing to work with you guys.
Yeah, Courtney, I appreciate the opportunity to work with Officer Reports, and this interview has been great. I'm looking forward to working with Officer Reports and your customers long term.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Catch you soon.